How's it going, everybody? This is Martin Stokes here.
And this is Dean Scurry.
And I'm a traveller.
And I'm a countryman.
Welcome to A Traveller
and a Countryman podcast.
We're here today. This is our 22nd podcast.
Woo!
Wow.
I'm back. I was sick for a week. I had COVID, but I'm delighted to be back. Did you miss me?
Not really, no. Are you looking for a pat on the shoulder or a bit of coax or something?
You're never going to admit publicly that you miss me.
I missed the podcast, all right. That was all.
You missed the podcast. But the podcast doesn't happen with just Martin Stokes.
Don't worry. I can still talk, Dean, if you're here or not.
You wouldn't have a clue what to do.
I'll pretend you're here. I do the what's it? A transveliquist, is it?
Transvestite traveller.
No, transveliquist.
Transveliquism. You wouldn't have a clue.
I'll use your voice and I use mine, and you think there's two in the studio.
Do my voice, go on.
Can't do it, it's very hard. Honestly, it's just a bad...
Like, if it was just you on your own in here, how would you start it?
How would I start it?
Yeah.
I'd say, well, Martin, how's things?
Is that how I speak?
Yeah, I'd be talking back to myself, yeah.
So welcome back, episode 22, A Traveller and a Countryman podcast. Let's do a bit more energy, okay?
Yes, go on.
We have a live show coming up in a few weeks, so we need to get in live show mode. So with the first ever A Traveller and a Countryman podcast live, where is it, Martin?
In the Access.
In the Access Theatre in Ballymun.
In Ballymun, is it? The Access Theatre.
And it's at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Wow. Are you serious,
We're going to have an audience of 200 people.
At 10 o'clock in the morning, yeah?
So there's about 50 tickets left.
Yes.
So we need to fill the venue. So tickets are available on Eventbrite.
Just to let you know, there's only 50 seats, so get your tickets.
And there's 200 seats. If you want your ticket, you want to get a Traveller and a Countryman podcast. Yeah. I can't wait for Martin Stokes to be on stage.
So we have 150 tickets gone, is it?
I've boxed off. You were worried that we wouldn't fill it at 10 o'clock in the morning.
I don't mind.
I have a good few boxed off. There's about 50 left. If people can't get them online, let me know. So 3 weeks to the gig, 10 o'clock in the morning, Access Theatre. And our special guest is...
Dean Scurry.
And?
Who else?
Come on, Martin.
You must know my name, do you not?
You better get a name right.
Lynn Rowan.
Senator.
I need rehearsals on that one, Dean.
Senator Lynn Rowan. So, ladies and gentlemen.
Lynn Rowan.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage.
Lynn Rowan.
Senator Lynn Rowan.
So, you're going to do that kind of introduction, Dean, yeah?
No, you're going to do that.
What if I can't remember the name? I'm not familiar, you see.
I'll make sure I'll tattoo it onto the front of that big silverback bleeding head of yours.
That means I make a mess of things, don't I?
You're not getting away with that, Martin. You need to own this now. Take this.
We get someone who's familiar with the name and then...
Would you be nervous now?
No.
200 people listening to you speak. When's the last time that happened?
Why would I be nervous, tell me?
And that's what I'm asking you. I don't know if you're nervous.
No, I don't need to be nervous.
Have you done a thing like that before?
As long as I know how to beat me up. Are they all set, lads, yeah?
I think there'd be a mix of Pavies, settles.
Hope so.
I think it'd be great for a group of just a group of people to come into a room and listen to you speak, listen to you and me chat, and especially to have a guest like Lynn Rowan on board. Yeah, I think it's going to be brilliant.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
I think it would be a conversation that I'd like to be at.
Yes. To
see where we go with it.
What was I going to say? Why would you think I'd be nervous, Dean? Tell me that.
No, I didn't think you were nervous. I'm asking you, would you be nervous or are you nervous?
No. There's no reason to be nervous. Honestly, really, there's genuinely no reason for me to be nervous.
What if we turn up and there's no audience there?
Still don't be nervous. Pretend that the audience is there. Keep talking. Don't look at Don't look at the audience section where all the seats are, yeah?
Usually when you do a show like that, you can't even see the audience because the lights are in your eyes anyway.
Well, I'm just saying anyway, don't look at the audience so you don't know if they're there or not.
Just have a chat like this.
And don't worry, if there's no audience, we can edit it, yeah? And we get
we can
an
put
audience.
In a crowd.
We put a crowd in there.
Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from St Margarets Parks, Ballymun, the one and only, the silverback gorilla traveller, Martin, I'll hold your hand through the gates of hell, Stokes.
Wow.
That's your new nickname, I just gave you that. So, first live show, Traveller and a Countryman live. Tickets are free, come and get them.
The way you're saying the first live show is if you have a future in this. Do we have a future in this?
I tell you what, if
are you sure it's not going to be the last?
Future in this, we'll find out.
Are you sure it's not going to be the last?
On the 18th of November.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's when we'll find out.
So that's 10 days after my birthday, please, God.
10 days after your birthday.
Wow. That's
2 days before mine.
That's not a hint or anything, like.
2 days before mine.
Yeah.
What do you think is the difference going to be in a live show as opposed to sitting here with me and you or sitting here with a guest?
Well, let's say you're going to find the presence of people in the room. That'll be the difference for starters. And then we're talking to Senator Lynn Rowan, yeah?
That's correct.
So that'll be interesting. I think that'll be very interesting on that part.
But the main difference is going to be
she's a good speaker, so I think
200 people looking at us and listening to us.
But Dean, I just told you, it doesn't matter if there's 1,000 people looking at us.
Yeah.
It's the one conversation we're going to have. Are we going to be jumping up and down to hear over heads or what? Sorry, you have no hair, Dean. What? It'll be good. It'll be interesting. If you're nervous, Dean, let me know, and I'll get you to calm down and get you some water or something.
Will your mammy come?
Will you be nervous?
I don't know. I think honoured, privileged, that kind of energy inside you when you're kind of privileged, where you realise that most people never get to sit down with someone they like and have a conversation. Like I like having conversations with you. I find them really interesting. I find Lynn really interesting. So having two people.
Are you actually saying that you'd be nervous in case you say something wrong or something like that? Is that what you're saying? In case it doesn't turn out right. Is that what you're talking about? In case you disappoint, let's say, the audience, if there's going to be an audience, like.
No, but when there is an audience in a room, definitely the energy is different. It's like if I ask you to sing a song with just me and you here, and I'm not recording it. Like the 10 minutes before we turned on the microphones today here, you were singing. But as soon as I say, Martin, I'm recording, something changes. The energy changes. The vibe changes.
Only, like, when I'm saying singing, I'm only slagging, like having the crack. Like.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is something changes, and when you put an audience in front of a few people, something changes as well. There's a different energy.
Tell me something down here, because obviously this is probably it is going to be my first time. I don't know if you've done it before. Have you done it before?
I've done gigs in front of audiences. Yeah.
Have you ever done a podcast in the access in front of the audience?
Haven't done a podcast that wasn't recorded, but I've done conversations where I'm sitting down on a panel where there's maybe one or two people and an audience, and I'm talking for like a half an hour.
But of course, back to the one thing, why would you be nervous just because there's an audience there? There's obviously something inside you telling you that you're going to make a mistake somewhere here. Is that it?
No, I don't. I just think it's a different energy. The energy is totally different. It's like you singing a song out on the main street. If I said to you, walk over to the corner there, the shop there in the main street, and start belting out songs.
Would you do it?
I would do it.
I wouldn't do it.
Would you not? Why?
Because I don't find, let's say, I wouldn't find it necessary to do.
Yeah, but would you do it? If I said to you, you have to go and do it.
It depends what you write on the check.
There's no money in this. These tickets are free. We're not getting paid.
We're not talking about the access. We're talking about on the streets.
The audience aren't paying in.
We're not talking about that. We're talking. You just.
So you'd only do it for money.
You switched that. I said to you, yeah, of course, do it for money. Would you not sing for money? No.
I'd sing for anything. I'm not that good of a singer. I'm not as good as you, but I'd give it a bash.
But would you just go out like I said, Dean, go over to that corner and sing a song on the street there? Yeah. Would you do that?
Yeah.
You would. That's okay. Tomorrow, I'm going to get you, Dean, bring you out here overside Super Valley or somewhere, or maybe outside the bank.
Would you do that with, all joking aside now, and I know you like a bit of banter, but would you do that with me?
Would I stand on the street singing a song?
Yeah.
Not really, no.
Why?
Because I wouldn't find it necessary to do, like...
Well, let's say it is necessary on this day, which is going to be tomorrow, Halloween.
Yeah?
Yeah. We're recording this podcast in Ballymun on the eve before Halloween.
Yes.
Halloween. All Hallows Eve.
Ooh. I wouldn't do it, no.
Would you not?
No.
So, what's the difference between that and an audience of 200 people?
Yeah.
You do that?
Doing what? Just sit down and talk?
Oh, Martin, I just came up with a genius idea.
Say it then, quick.
Would you sing a song?
I'll leave it out, son.
On the live podcast.
Leave it out.
Would you?
No.
You will.
And I wouldn't.
Oh, I'm telling you, there's going to be an audience there. You're going to change. You're getting embarrassed already.
I'm not getting embarrassed.
Yeah, I can see it. You start. You put on all these accents and you raise your voice.
I'd sing in front of 1,000 people, but there's only one problem. I don't know how to sing. So why get up there and make a show of myself?
There's a little bit of. I might leave it in. There's a little bit about 2 minutes of Martin singing earlier on. I might leave it into the recording.
I can barely talk, never mind sing. So if people can't understand me talking, how do they understand singing?
You're very good at putting yourself down.
I love it.
Do you?
Yeah, I like that.
Self-flatulation.
It makes me stronger.
Here, I was asking you earlier on Halloween. You were saying, what would we talk about? I said, well, look, it's Halloween. What are you doing?
Go on, Halloween.
He's doing a little thing with his hands as well, like shaking them, like.
Go on, son. Go on, son.
Are you into Halloween?
In what way, like?
Right, stop complicating the questions.
I'm asking it. No, look, you asked me a question.
Do you celebrate Halloween?
I want to return the question. If I can answer it without returning the question, I'm asking you in what way?
I can see the traveller coming out on you. I haven't been here for a week because I had
Country
COVID.
fella, you a traveller?
And he's ringing me twice a day. He's ringing me. You all right, Dean? How's it going?
No,
Do you want me to bring you
Dean,
up?
I was always saying, Dean,
I'm bored down my head.
What's the story? When are we doing a podcast?
Do you celebrate Halloween?
No, I'll tell you what the story is. Years ago, we used to bring the kids out and do the trick or treat thing, yeah? Because, look, when the kids are kids at the end of the day and they don't see any worship in it, all they see is a bit of fun and laughter as Halloween, yeah? Me, personally, I don't celebrate Halloween now. Why would I want to celebrate the witches?
What do you mean?
That's what I mean. Why would I want to celebrate the witches?
The All Hallows Eve. It's when all the people, we remember all the people who had passed away. All the
it's the Eve of All Souls Day.
All Souls Day. That's what it is.
Yes, that's right. And then we have the other day.
There's like a
All Souls Day is on Wednesday. So basically, there's a big history about Halloween. Something that I never delved into, or never read into, or never even decided to ask about. Because the reality of it is, I'm not interested in celebrating Halloween. I celebrate Christmas, celebrate Easter. They're the things I celebrate. But Halloween, no.
Halloween's not
but
really...
That's not to ruin anybody else's Halloween, because why? I know there's lots and thousands of people, literally half the world, maybe all the world, celebrates Halloween, but depending on how they're celebrating and worshipping, probably not worshipping. Do you know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't be interested. I have no interest in the celebration of Halloween, but on the other hand, it's hard to say no to the young kids because they like to dress up and have a bit of fun and go do this trick or treat thing and knocking on doors and all that. But the reality of it is the kids don't understand, so they're only having a bit of fun.
They don't understand what?
They're having a bit of, let's say, as I call it, childish fun, yeah.
Yeah, but what's the bit that they don't understand?
For me,
yeah,
the bit that they don't understand is if I was to celebrate Halloween, I'd be celebrating something that I don't believe in.
Yeah, what is it, the thing that you don't believe in? Is what you're saying is, you know...
Well, do you believe in witches?
Do I believe in witches? Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
Do you believe in love? Sure, no? Do you believe in sure?
Share them sweets.
Yeah. But
do I believe in witches? Yes.
It's a complicated story about this Halloween thing that I don't like to get into.
Well, get into it. This is why we're doing a podcast. Let's explore it.
Leave it out, somebody.
No, come on.
What do you think about Halloween?
I think Halloween is like, it has changed from the Irish traditional pagan celebration of this time of year, where it's like the autumn is ending, the crops have been harvested, there's plenty of food from the harvest, the evenings are getting dark, there's a lot of kind of stories and myths that are tied up in it that are kind of old Irish and pagan. And then I think it got American-ified or Disney-fied, where it's like trick or treat and all that type of stuff, you know. But I think before that, it was really interesting. And in this community, when I was growing up, there was loads of bonfires and there was dressing up and there was the dinner you had before, like the curly kale and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, but it's
a bit of crack.
But it still happens.
Yeah.
Not just when you were growing up, Dean. It happened before you were even born.
So that's what I like about it.
But it's still happening now. But as I said, that's only probably the fun side of it. I know you have this thing where, let's say, grown-ups have parties now celebrating Halloween. Party here, party there, and dressing up for all this stuff. I don't know. I don't see any sense in it. To me, it's a lot of childish. I do think it's a fun thing for the kids. That's about the height of it.
Have you ever dressed up fancy dress for Halloween, ever?
No, never.
Would you?
No, never.
Like, what outfit? Well, what outfit would you get?
And it's no, never.
What outfit? Come on, Martin. What would you dress up as?
Never,
if I gave you one option.
What?
If I gave you one option, Martin, it's a fancy dress. It's not Halloween, it's just fancy dress. Come along as something.
Yeah, buy me a nice new suit, with the latest style. Good pair of shoes to go with that.
Who's buying you this suit?
No, I'm just saying, if you want me to dress up, a nice tie, yeah, a few quid in the pocket. That would be my fancy dress.
No.
Nice bottle of, what do you call it? Not millions, a dupe or millions, whichever one of them. I'd have one of them.
I've never smelt that on you.
Well, I'm just saying that's why I want one. I've never had one. I want one. So that'd be my fancy
Have
dress.
you never dressed up?
A lovely gentleman suit. If you want me to dress up for Halloween, go and spend about 500 quid on me.
I like a bit of dress up. I have a few photographs. I'll probably share them. A few photographs of costumes that I've worn on Halloweens. I remember me and Sparky.
Sparky again.
Me and Sparky.
Is that the only mate you have?
I'm going to tell him.
You told me what? No, I know Sparky.
I'm going to tell him that anytime I bring him up, you roll your eyes back.
That would be a lie. So you're getting into telling lies now in your podcast.
So me and Sparky.
Now, the other thing as well, right?
Halloween.
I was getting that was, right? Is Sparky the only friend that you have in Ballymun?
Well, I have you, so that's two.
No, I'm not your friend. I'm doing a podcast, I'm not your friend.
Oh my God. That didn't take long. I was only sick for a bleeding week.
I know that.
And you're
Listen here carefully, right?
Even though you wouldn't stop ringing me for.
You told me one time that you had thousands of friends in Ballymun. I asked you to mention 3 of them, and you couldn't mention 3. Yeah. You went straight to Sparky. But I will give it up to you. You mentioned Sparky 3 times.
So I was going down Balcurris with Sparky on Halloween, and we were dressed up as two elf fellas.
Two elf fellas.
Two elf fellas, suits on. We had push bikes. I think we had canes as well. And we had these like really scary old man masks. And this is in Balcurris when it was rough, when the flats were there, when the lads were hanging around that. And we went down and it was pitch dark and we scared the bollocks out.
How's that run, did they?
We just walk up nice and slow and stand beside them and just like, what are you fucking looking at?
So what did they do? They ran when you took off the mask?
They stood there, stared at us and shit themselves.
When you took the masks off?
Yeah. Where'd you get that mask you're wearing tonight?
Oh my God, that's good. I like that.
So would you believe in witches?
Do you believe? No, I don't.
Banshees.
Banshees?
Yeah.
No, why do you ask that?
Because it's Halloween.
But does that mean Halloween? What?
Well, let's say banshees.
What has Halloween
witches?
got in common with that?
What else is around?
Ghosts.
You don't believe in ghosts, but what's the thing you said?
But I know they're out there.
That
was a good one, actually.
I don't believe in ghosts, but I know they're out there.
But I know they're out there.
So
yeah, but I have no belief on them. Dean, there's lots of things out there that I don't believe in, but they're there. And obviously, like you think what I'm saying.
Martin, stop talking rubbish.
But I know I am talking rubbish. I love talking rubbish. Because what happens with the rubbish, you try to make sense out of it. So it puzzles your brain, puzzles my brain, and it makes a search to bring something sensible out of that. But we haven't done that yet.
So banshees?
No interest.
No, hold on. Do you believe in them?
No, because
Are they out there?
Are they out there? Truth is, I don't know for sure. Something that I never had an interest in anyway. Definitely.
What about witches?
Witches, well, there's this myth, is it? Is that what you call it? A myth of Halloween, yeah?
Yeah.
That is celebrating.
Well, Halloween's not a myth. Halloween is a thing that actually happens. We celebrate.
I didn't say Halloween was a myth. I said there's this myth that they're celebrating the witches.
Yeah.
Would you celebrate the witches?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Why would you celebrate a witch? Tell me that.
Because I think they're great.
Well, what's great about a witch? I want to know.
Well, they're like women who make spells and all.
And they are women, definitely, yeah.
Well, you've got male witches as well. But the ones in my head are
male
mainly...
witches.
Yeah.
How do you know the difference between a male and a female witch?
Well, if you haven't learned that at the age of 50... If you haven't learned that at the age of 51...
Hey, that was a tricky one. That was a tricky one.
Yeah, for you.
No, Dean, that's coming out.
No, that's not coming out. Martin, if you haven't learned the difference between a male witch and a female witch, I'm going to leave this in. You're going to have to swallow your pride.
No.
The difference between a male witch and a female witch. If you haven't learned that at the age of 51...
What I'm trying to say to you is,
help yourself.
Thing about it is, I was tricking you because I was going by
you were tricking me, but you fell into your own trick.
I was talking about your nose. Actually, you have a big nose, yeah. Turn sideways there for a second, Dean.
You'll have a black eye now when I leave that in.
No way, that won't be left in. Anyway, we won't fight about that, right?
We won't fight about that because I'm leaving it in.
So what do you know about witches then? I don't know nothing about witches.
I think witches exist, and I don't think all witches are what we traditionally think are bad witches. I think there's white witches as well.
Okay, what's the bad points about Halloween? Tell me. What do you think is the bad points about Halloween?
The bad points about Halloween. I think in Ireland there's a lot of gargling happens.
A lot of drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a lot of drinking happening without Halloween, so what do you think of that?
Well, there's an awful lot more drinking. Like in Ireland, we used to be great on, say, another Good Friday. This whole country would be, to use a phrase, on wheels. People would just go out drinking because they'd be buying alcohol.
On what Friday?
Good Friday. What happened on Good Friday is they closed the pubs, is it?
Good Friday?
Yeah, they used to close the pubs.
Good Friday was when our Lord was crucified.
Yeah, so in Ireland, when our Lord was crucified on Good Friday, they closed the pubs, and then people would go and buy loads of alcohol the night before and get locked. And that happens on Halloween as well.
That doesn't happen in the traveller community.
Doesn't it?
No.
In the settled community,
travellers are very, very serious about not drinking on Good Friday.
What about on Halloween?
As a matter of fact, yeah, the pubs used to close down.
The pubs used to close down.
But that was a mark of respect, you know that?
Yeah. And settled people went, mark of respect, I'm going to fill the fridge full of alcohol.
Yeah, but it was a mark of respect for the people that closed the pubs down. But the reality of it was that they had orders from the government because it was an old thing, it was tradition. No alcohol of a Good Friday. But then people started losing their faith as time went on, and they just decided to do what they wanted to do. So look, they decided then we're gonna drink on Good Friday. But that doesn't happen.
They just didn't drink. They overdrank.
Yeah, but they drank. They were saying
it wouldn't be a normal Friday's amount of drinking.
I understand, but
an obscene amount of drinking.
Yes, which was even worse again. But it means that they forgot all about tradition. But of course, it was probably to the young people coming up along, like, you know what I mean? And as I said, the older ones probably wouldn't do it back then. But as I said, in the travelling community, you won't get that.
What about on Halloween? Will you get on Halloween?
90% of travellers on Good Friday will do a black fast for respect of our Lord.
What's a black fast?
The black fast is completely abstaining from eating and drinking for the whole day. Some of them will do it till around maybe 6 o'clock. Some of them will still do it for the whole day and just drink water. Now that is a big, big thing in the travelling community, widespread.
Yeah, I never heard of a black fast.
Serious?
Yeah.
The black fast would be no food, absolutely. Say no tea, no fluids, not even water. But the reality of it is they're supposed to drink water because without the water, you're not getting fluids into your body, obviously. And some of them just decide, no, absolutely not. They'll do that fast from before 12 o'clock on Thursday night till after 12 o'clock on Good Friday night. And then they'll order a bit of food or whatever, like, you know. And
would they do a fast other times of the year?
Randomly, yes.
Like, what's that other fast, Catholic fast?
Ramadan.
No,
the
Catholic.
For the Pakistans, Ramadan.
No.
They do a serious fast, you know.
No, I know that. Is it Wit? I forget the name of it. What's the one in Ireland? Lent. Is there a fast that happens at Lent?
Yeah, but see, the thing about it is...
so I said Wit.
A lot of them
will...
Sunday. With Sunday. A lot of them will fast maybe every Wednesday. No, not majority of them. It's only at their own choice, own free will, is basically.
During Lent,
yeah. What happened on Lent, well, they'll get off some stuff for... they'll abstain themselves from certain, like, food or alcohol or maybe cigarettes. Something that let's say that's a daily and regular intake. They'll give this up for 7 weeks.
Yeah, that's common enough. Like, settled people will do that as well. What are you giving up for
you
Lent?
You asked me what to go for Lent.
So would they fast?
Yeah, this is what I'm trying to say. They'll fast on the Good Friday. Some of them will fast maybe till 3 o'clock or 6 o'clock every Wednesday and every Friday. Some of them will fast on Wednesday till 12 o'clock and Friday till 12 o'clock. There's loads of different... it's really down to yourself. You make that decision yourself. But on Good Friday in particular, it's like... it's almost like every traveller almost every, like I said earlier on, 90% of the travellers will fast on Good Friday.
And I would say that when the pubs were closing on Good Friday, a similar percentage of settled people would go gargling. Maybe not 90%, but an awful lot.
No,
it was a big thing in the settled community. Good Friday, right, stock the gaff full of alcohol and get locked.
I'm telling you now, you will not see that in the traveller community. This is where their faith comes in. They have a strong faith when it comes to these things. They have great willpower.
But I think it's gone a little bit now because the pubs are open now on Good Friday.
Yeah, it's gone from the settled community.
Yeah.
I just said that.
Now they're just treating it like a normal.
Yeah, people are forgetting their faith. They're forgetting tradition.
No. The thing that they used to do was going to get gargled on Good Friday. I think is gone now because the pubs are open and people are just going realising it's just a normal bleeding day.
I know there were. I don't know if all the pubs were open. I think it's by choice. Some of the pubs are open.
Yeah, but none of them were open before. It was like
no, the whole town was shut down basically.
But now pubs are open on Good Friday.
Yeah, even down the country.
And people
now.
aren't rushing off the night before to Tesco's to get loads of bleeding alcohol. But I part of it I think is that people were just like, the government aren't going to tell me when I can't drink.
But the government wasn't telling them.
Yeah, but they kind of were. They were closing down the pubs.
No, they weren't. No, the government was making their choices also. So if the government was telling you can't drink, they shut down the shops as well, wouldn't they? They're encouraging you, or they are encouraging you. They're not making you not drink.
No, I'm not saying the government are. I'm saying that's the perception in people's heads.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, people are thinking. Maybe they are thinking that.
Therefore,
yeah,
they're saying on this day, which is a normal day for us, when at the end of the week where I'd normally go to the pub, you can't go to the pub, and they were saying, "Fuck that, let's get loads of alcohol."
Yeah, but these are people who probably don't believe in these traditions. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, their tradition was go and get drunk. So it's kind of like Halloween. The part of Halloween that I'm not mad about is the part where it's let's go and get drunk.
Yeah, or the bonfires.
I don't mind the bonfires.
No, the bonfires become very dangerous. You see, they're not just making an ordinary little fire they can stand around for a couple of hours, like, you know what I mean? They're making bonfires now as big as houses.
Oh, and
that's plain to see.
Well, up in Northern Ireland, they're making them 5 times the size of houses.
I know that. I've seen that documentary about that. But the thing about it is, even down here, say in Ireland, they're making bonfires and they're making, as I said, as big as houses. And when the bonfire then sort of lights from the bomb, that these things are falling all to one side, which becomes very, very dangerous then. For you know, then the whole, whatever they have, the whole field is covered with this bonfire. And then when they're getting drunk in, they're daring each other who could run across this or who could run across that. Or who could, know what I'm saying? That's the kind of stuff you're dealing with. Because the alcohol is involved. I can't blame the councils or the governments for trying to stop these fires or clearing them up as soon as they see them, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think this year is, because of COVID and there wasn't much happening on Halloween over COVID,
yeah.
I think this year I haven't really seen kids in Ballymun collecting bonfire wood.
I've seen a few of them at it now for the last couple of weeks.
Well, when I was growing up,
especially for the last week, I've seen a few
any
of them.
bit of wood. We used to be knocking on people's doors in the flats.
Yeah, but don't forget, they're using everything now. It's not just a bit of wood. They're using beds, cupboards, you name it, presses. They're using tyres. They're using absolutely anything they get. They're throwing it on there. So it's toxic as well as everything else. So yeah, there's a lot of danger involved, I think, in the Halloween thing with the bonfire and then the bangers. There's no supervision over the bangers, and kids as young as probably 7, 8 years old are getting them in their hands.
I got bangers the other night, and I let them off. I was up on the border staying in my mate's house, and he bought a big thing of bangers. He lives right beside the banger factory,
right,
just on the border there, and he got some bangers.
Yeah, I know loads of lads that's bringing them in, all right, but
they were dangerous enough now, and we weren't drinking, and we were adults. You know what I mean?
Yeah, some of the bangers now, they're letting them off, and they're just like, they call them rockets, but there's no doubt about it, they are rockets. The power that's in them, and touch wood, if it ever went the wrong way, these things that go through the side of a house with the power that's behind them, and God forbid if it ever hits somebody, they're history, completely history.
Oh, so there's a big.
So that's where the problem is in the line of supervision. You need, let's say, the old-fashioned adult to be using, not to put them in the kids' hands.
There's a big Halloween celebration happens in Ballymun. By the time this podcast comes out, it'll be over, but you can catch it next year. In the middle of Ballymun, there's a other world festival, and it's on for about 3 or 4 hours, and there's loads of stuff happening for the kids. And
when's that?
That's tomorrow night. It happens every year.
It's like a festival, is it?
Have you been at it?
No.
Okay, so Martin, I'm gonna come and bring you to this festival, okay?
Dean, how can you just come and bring me when I have my own family to do things with?
Well, then get your family and bring them down yourself.
Right, tell me a bit about it first, will you?
Smack bang in the middle of Ballymun.
You tell me everything was all too late. Why is that?
You're a big girl now.
We're here now on the eve of Halloween night, basically, is it? And you're trying to announce to people that's listening to this, there's a big festival in Ballymun tomorrow night.
Ladies and gentlemen, Martin.
Dean Scurry has left the building.
Martin is not happy with Dean again. Martin, every year.
Explain to me now, Dean, will you, about this festival, please?
If
you don't mind.
You want to calm the ham.
Dean, you got no energy, and you have COVID all week.
Martin, so in the middle of Ballymun, Halloween night from about 6 o'clock.
Where about in the middle of Ballymun?
Where do you think the middle of Ballymun is?
Beside the axis, is
Very
it?
good.
On that grounds?
Yeah.
Lovely, yeah.
There's music. There's a carnival. There's food. There's
food.
Crack.
I'll be there.
Look at him. Crack agus Kjol. Live music. Dexter are playing this year.
Are they there?
As they play every year.
They're good, aren't they?
They're good crack. And then at the end of it, for about a half an hour, just before 9 o'clock, there is a huge fireworks display.
So what time does it start?
6 o'clock.
Right. I'll mention to a few people if they want to come down to it, yeah?
Yeah.
Because basically, well, my kids are growing up now.
I thought you weren't celebrating Halloween.
No, I didn't celebrate. I said, I'm not celebrating Halloween. You said, there's music and there's what? Food. You said food.
You can hear the anger in his voice.
Yeah. And you said Dexter is going to be there. They're not witches, they're singers.
Where did you get that mask you're wearing tonight?
Right. Tell me something, will you? Dexter. They're a long time around, aren't they?
So
they're good singers.
For those people who don't know, in Ballymun, over the last 50 years, there's been some really good musical acts, but the kind of pride of Ballymun is a band called Dexter.
Yeah.
Padder and Deco. And they're just... I'll give you an image of what it's like. Do you ever see those spinning tops that you pull and they spin on the table and they're just full of energy? That's what they're like. Give those a guitar and a drum kit and a microphone and they're like just full of crazy,
who would you describe? I know them. I know Dexter.
Yeah.
I've heard them sing lots of times. They are good singers. There's no mistake about that. Who would you describe them as if you were describing to people? What would you describe them? Take two bands.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to give you this one, right?
Go on.
Take two bands, put Dexter in the middle, yeah? What two bands would you say they sound like from either side?
Sound like, I would say, the vibe of them is kind of...
Please don't say the two I'm saying, will you?
I'm going to say, I don't know what yours going to say. I'm going to say Oasis.
Oh, I don't believe this. You're serious.
And then I have to go for another...
You're robbing me words,
and the band out the Muppet Show.
Who's the Muppet Show?
Do you remember the Muppet Show?
No, I'd put them in between Aslan and Oasis. That's where I would... every time I see them singing, I picture these two lads.
Yeah, but...
There's the other lad as well. What's his name again? The other lad. He's with them a long, long time, he is.
Jimmy.
Yeah. Right. I would put this group in between Aslan and Oasis.
I wouldn't put them in between Aslan and Oasis.
I would.
I'd put Aslan and Oasis on one side, I'd put them, and then I'd put the crazy band out of the Muppet Show on the other side. Remember the Muppet Show? You had your man Animal.
Dean, I didn't give you the right to three bands, I said two bands.
Yeah, well, you got it wrong.
You have to take three bands and you're only entitled to two. How'd you work that one out?
Do you know the Muppet Show? Do you not remember the Muppet Show like Kermit the Frog and all?
No, I don't, no.
Miss Piggy. Have you ever seen Miss Piggy?
Yeah, it used to be on years ago. That's history. So you're saying you put... No, bad. Let's say bad representation, be honest about it. I'm getting the vibes off you haven't got a clue what you're talking about. Is that right? Yeah, I knew I was right. You don't have... You can't pronounce the word. So anyway, Dexter are good singers, yeah. I enjoy listening to them lads. But the other thing about it was, how come they never really got a lot of recognition?
Here's why. Are you ready?
Is it because they live in Ireland or Dublin or what?
Did you ever buy any of their music?
Yes, I did.
You've got a
Actually,
Dexter
I'm
CD.
lying to you, right? I didn't buy them, but I got some off them. They gave me some free ones.
Yeah, well, that's why, because they never sold their music. In order to get their name out there, they need to sell their music to people. People are just buying CDs or getting CDs for free. That's not going to help anybody.
No, that's a lot of nonsense, because I tell you why. There's people who give out tickets from a concert for free, but they still sell millions of tickets. So I don't think that's the problem there.
They sell millions of tickets
They
first.
don't. Are you saying they actually go up on stage and flick all the CDs at the people, out of their fans?
No, I think, where did you get that music?
Where did I get it?
Yeah.
Off them.
And did you ever buy a CD off them? An album off them?
No, I haven't seen them in the shops.
That's probably why people haven't heard about them.
No, but that's not the answer to how that was sort of, what you call
So
it.
you were looking for?
Not exactly what I wasn't looking for. Obviously, I wasn't looking for that answer. But that answer doesn't make no sense.
People don't know about them because their music wasn't in the shops.
No, I don't think so. I'm thinking so are you saying then that every singer has to have their music in the shops before they get known?
Or available to download?
I'm saying, how come they wouldn't be picked up by some
I used to manage the music.
Some manager, did you?
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
I did.
So is any wonder they got nowhere then?
They had a different
so that
name.
Answers all my questions.
They had a different name. It was the same lads out of the same band, but they had a different name.
You just answered my question. That's the reason they got nowhere.
I was with them for about a year.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're planning on a music career or a singing career,
I was with them for about a year, and I spent more time in a police station.
Stay away from Dean Scurry. Don't ever ask him to be a manager, because he's guaranteed to write you off and destroy your career.
I spent more
before
time
you
with
even
them
get started
in Ballymun Garda Station, pulling them out.
Oh man, the question that I had to ask you, and you just come up with that one. I don't believe it. No, I know. What did he say? Say no more, he said. Because that answers everything.
Say no more, say
Port
no
Extra.
more. That's a Beyonce song.
Oh my God, my heart goes out to Port Extra. Why did you ever have to cross paths with Extra, huh?
I got them when they were good.
And tell me something, you're still apologising to them, yeah?
Yeah, they turn up every day outside me.
But you're still
looking for
royalty. You're still saying sorry, oh yeah?
Yeah.
Port Extra. Anyway, they are good singers.
Yeah, they're very good. So anyway, if you're around in Ballymun next Halloween, go and check them out, Eddie.
So that's tomorrow night, yeah?
That's tomorrow night, Halloween, the one that you don't celebrate.
No, I won't be celebrating Halloween, but I can listen to the Extra. Simple. Their music, their singers.
I just can't get the image of you wearing fancy
lads.
dress.
What?
I'd love to see you dressed up as something.
I told you, Dean, if you want me to dress up, go and buy a new suit, top to the latest style, yeah? Nice pair of shoes to go with that. Nice tie, yeah? Throw a few quid in the pocket of the coat. And, nah, not really. I don't really need a watch. I don't want to watch.
Would there be much dress up in St Margarets?
All the kids, yeah.
Yeah.
So the kids, as I said to you, it's just fun
So
for the kids.
you used to be a kid. Did you ever dress up?
No, seriously, never.
Did you not?
No. I'm telling you the truth, never.
No, like gorilla outfit or anything like that?
No, you're trying to get something out of me here, but that's not going to happen. I never,
have this image
ever
in my head of you wearing like a cape and a pair of hairy gloves.
dress up as Elvis. No, I don't.
Is that who you would dress up as?
I've never dressed up. You know why? If I dressed up as Elvis, I'd be all shook up.
You'd be all fucked up.
Oh my God. So that's the crack now with Halloween and your entertainment over here. Who set that up over there?
There's a festival committee, they run it. It's
Very
called
good.
the Other World Festival. They
Yeah.
don't call it the Halloween Festival for some reason. They call it the Other World Festival.
And has it been there before?
It's been there at least 12 years. You've never been at it once?
No, I'm not saying I've never been at it. I think I do remember it one time, because the music is fairly loud when it is taking place. So I'm guessing it's probably the same thing I'm talking about.
So it was there last year.
Oh no, I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you how I think I remember it. Here on you know where they built that new supermarket over here. They used to use that grounds here every
for
year
fireworks.
for the fireworks. Now they were done professionally, basically, and I used to bring the kids down and we watched the fireworks. All right, that was it.
But the other bit before it, with the carnival and the live music and the food and all that.
Is there actually a place over there for a carnival?
Yeah, they'd have like a little mini carnival. They have
the mini thing, yeah.
Yeah, but it's deadly. They have all the
do you go up in all the oaks, yeah?
all the.
It's not for the kids, no.
They have all the, what you call them, tight rope walkers and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's deadly. Then they have a little thing like a Ferris wheel and all for the, like small kids.
All right.
But there's about 5 or 6 different things on. It's on for a couple of hours. You probably get about 2,000 people turning up, and then everyone watches the fireworks.
You sound like you're going back to your childhood there for a few minutes.
I like it. It's good crack.
You get all excited there when you talk about Ferris wheels.
I think I actually might get dressed up tomorrow.
Tire ropes, yeah. Oh my God, worse you're getting.
I might put on a costume.
It's worse you're getting, Dean. Worse you're getting.
So I had COVID for a week, and I kind of enjoyed it. I was off work for a week, and I was it wasn't that heavy. Usually when I'm sick, I kind of dread it, but this time I just leaned into it and just went, right, I'm sick, nothing I could do about it. Just accept it. It's the second time I had COVID. Yeah, just went into bed for a week. It's mad when like it used to freak me out, like being sick for a week and just having to stay in bed.
So this time you just chilled out, basically.
I just what can you do about it? Just accepted it. I think the hardest part of it is that it wrecks your head.
It's not something you can do about because it's a slow process. It has to just come and go, and that's it. But it's not just like a normal flu, like, no?
Is what I had like a normal flu.
Yeah, you know, you're saying you had COVID.
Yeah.
But if we didn't have that word COVID, what would it be?
I don't know. I done a test and it tested positive, and I had a few symptoms. Some of those symptoms I've had before, like blocked nose, sinus, body pains.
So years ago you'd have that without when we never.
I probably wouldn't call it COVID.
So no, when we knew not about COVID, basically, go back years. Say COVID was 2 years ago. Go back past that 2-3 years before that again. If you had the same symptoms as you had last week, basically, you just call it a flu, wouldn't you? An ordinary flu, sort of. What was the difference then? Now that they're calling it COVID, is it a new word for the flu?
Well, it's a new word for that version of the SARS, that virus. Yeah, it's a new strain. It affects the body differently. It has different symptoms, and it has different ability to be contagious, more contagious or less contagious or whatever.
I suppose I don't like contradicting it too much, but the reality is I think the doctors hadn't got a clue what they were talking about. They confused people so much that people didn't know what to believe. The
confusion and the not knowing what to do didn't help, but they were in the middle of a situation where it was all brand new, so they were kind of just working off the best information that they had.
But they didn't have no information at all.
Yeah. And part of it is they didn't have information. Part of it is the information they put out was you were able to contradict it. You know, people didn't believe, their governments. And then also behind it, there's these big companies seemingly giving you information, but they're making billions of euro behind it as well. So
then they're making decisions about, okay, we're going to do a lockdown. A lockdown because we have so many thousand people with COVID attend the hospitals, all the stuff, right? And then when they made a decision to, let's say, open the country up, if you like, all of a sudden the news shows there's only so little people now that contacted COVID. Then when they decided again, that it suits them again to shut down the country again, they up with the numbers again and down with the numbers. And of course, everybody was falling for it. Then they were making people wear masks. And what people didn't understand, that the masks were actually making them worse. Did you ever wear the masks?
I did. And I work in a place where you had to wear the mask, because if you didn't wear the mask...
Yeah, I understand that. You had to go by the rules. But did you ever feel that the mask was like clogging your chest up and stuff like that? You were breathing the same air for whatever length you were wearing that mask.
Oh, so I seen a thing earlier on, I was mentioning this to you. I seen a photograph in a newspaper of a time where you were doing an outdoor mass and you were being interviewed about the mass and COVID.
Yes.
What was that about?
I'll tell you what that was about. Remind me again where you...
I'm not sure. It was an Irish newspaper, probably Dublin Live or something like that. Yes. I'll send it to you later on. But there's a picture of you outside in St Margarets.
And my grandson.
Your grandson is there, your mammy is there, and there's about 50 people looking at you, and you're doing a mass.
Right.
And the reporter is asking you questions about how COVID is affecting the travelling community.
Right. I'll tell you what that was all about. When say the government announced COVID, they closed the churches down. Right. And the priests weren't allowed to, let's say, visit homes, if you like, unless it was really, really necessary. So what used to happen, where we live on the site, we have all these pictures. People would call them murals, yeah? But obviously we call them pictures, but it's the Stations of the Cross. And we have them going in and to the entrance of our site. We had them on both sides, yeah? But they're absolutely beautiful. You've seen them, didn't you?
Yeah, they're lovely.
They're very nice. So I put all of them there anyway, right? So the story was, we used to get the priest over we had a parish priest for the travelling community, and he'd come along on Good Friday, and we do the prayers, and we do all the stations of the cross. But on this particular time, the priest wasn't allowed to do it by the rules that were set upon them, basically. So I just thought I'm going to have to do something about this, because we were dropping, let's say we were dropping tradition now, if you want to put it that way. So I come up with the idea of the fact that the priest is not here, there's no reason for us just to lie down, basically. So I took it upon myself to get all the families out and do the Divine Mercy, the Rosary, and then go over to the Stations of the Cross. And we done all the Stations of the Cross. So we got one of them big speakers, so everybody could be involved and hear it also. And we done all the Stations of the Cross. So in the meantime, it was just the day before, this guy comes into the site, and he was a countryman, yeah? And obviously we didn't know who he was. So he was looking for Martin Stokes. Now, I didn't know this guy in to beat me up, or what was he? So I said, who I said, who are you looking for, and who sent you here, and all this sort of stuff. And he said, I'm looking for Martin Stokes because he said, I want to interview him about what's life like now that the churches are closed down and stuff. So it's obviously someone sent him to me, like, you know what I mean? He just didn't know me out of the blues, like. So I said, it's me, Sam. Maybe that's who you're looking for. So, of course, he gave me enough detail to let me know it was me anyway, right? What happened there was he asked for permission to interview me on it. So I told him yes. I said, no problem. I said, now that I knew who he was, like, you know what I mean? I said, good. But I said, I want no negativity on this, I said, too many times travellers have been interviewed, I said. And I said, the story has been changed. But I said, you have to give me your word, I said, that there'll be no negativity or nothing put into this I don't want in this. So I made that clear to him, you know what I'm saying? But fair play to him in the end. He was a nice person. And yeah, he did. He made an article, all right.
So you done the mass?
No, what it is was, yeah, I done all the prayers, yes.
Have you ever done a mass like that before?
No.
Martin's smiling.
No, because I'm just what I'm trying to say to you.
Yeah.
So
you just took it by yourself.
Somebody had to do it.
Yeah.
So I decided I'm going to do it.
Why was that somebody you?
Because I had the thought came to my mind.
And you had the feeling, I'm going to go and do this.
Yes. And things are telling you don't do it, and you're getting, you know what I mean? You get all anxious about doing it or not doing it.
He's lighting up here. You can see the colour in his face has changed. He's getting excited.
So I said to me, no, obviously it is good, like, yeah. So I just said to myself, I said, it's like this. I made up my mind. I said, I'm doing it, and that's it, and nothing's going to stop me from doing it. The plan was, anyway, so he asked for permission. Could he come around the next day? As it was to be, I had my mind made up to do this, and he comes looking for me. And up to this day, I don't know who sent him to me, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And he asked could I do the interview, and then he asked me could he take pictures of the whole thing, to say the prayers and the crowd and the site and all that stuff. So I told him yes. So he stood around for the couple of hours we were doing all this. He stood around and he took lots of pictures and he put a story together, like, you know what I mean? So that was okay. So the moral of the story is the reason this all happened was that, as I said, he came back the next day and we done all the. That's when we were doing our prayers, which is Good Friday. The moral of the story was that the reason I done all this because we didn't have no priest, so I decided to take it upon myself then.
So did you do it again?
Yes, I did.
The next Good Friday?
Yes. Everybody enjoyed it. Absolutely everybody that was there.
So you've done it twice so far?
I've done it twice so far. And now the other thing about it was, last Good Friday,
yeah,
the pictures on the wall needed to be changed, repaired.
Freshened up.
So now I didn't have a lot of time. And I had all the new pictures there waiting to... They're all like, they're weatherproofed pictures. And I didn't have a lot of time to get this all together. So I started on Wednesday to before
the Good Friday.
Before Good Friday, and I stripped all the other pictures basically, And I had to redo, say, power wash all the walls. I had to paint all the walls up. Now, I got a bit of help there on that with one or two of the lads on the site, which was very good, because I needed it very badly. And then I started drilling the walls again to put all these pictures up. There's actually 30 pictures to be put up, and each of them has like 4. We'll drill the wall 4 times for each picture. It was all time, let's say, how would you call it? It was like trying to keep ahead of time, basically, hoping that we'd have it finished in enough time. It was 7:30 on, we started on Wednesday. It was, now this is working the whole day through, and the whole day the next day. It was 7:30, yeah, on Holy Thursday, when I got it finished, and I was exhausted, drained it was completely. At the same time, I was delighted.
It was good work.
Because you seen it, didn't you?
Yeah, it was lovely.
It turned out absolutely beautiful. We had a problem with the paint. We went off and we bought gold paint because I wanted this to look nice, to make these pictures look like they were sitting in frames. And we painted. And the wall, the paint wouldn't take to the wall.
Yeah, it just didn't look nice.
The more gold paint I was putting on, and this paint it was expensive paint, it wasn't cheap paint.
Yeah.
The more I went painting that wall, it just looked like clear gloss on the wall. So I had to drop all of that. And I had to think of what paint was going to suit this.
You were being tested by the paint?
Yeah. So I tried a few paints. Turned out I got brown paint. And what I done was, there's like a frame. It's not a frame, actually. It's an imprint into the wall where the picture is sitting, yeah? And we done all that in brown. We just done one to see what it was like. And it came out absolutely beautiful. And even up to today now, it still looks good. And so what we done, we painted every one of them all around the outside of the picture. And it looks like this picture is actually sitting in a brown frame now.
In a picture frame, yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful.
There was actually another traveller fella, not from your site, from another site, was on to me saying, who got them and where can I get them?
Yeah, well, you can put them on to me and I'll tell them where to get them.
Absolutely.
Because I'd like to see them in more places, honestly. The other thing about it is, anyway, it was Thursday night, 7:30, completely drained, for it to be ready for the next day. And thanks be to God, it was like putting £1 million in my hand. I was that excited about it because it turned out so well. And again, I got a bit of help from 1 or 2 lads on the site, which I needed it very badly.
So you have experience in front of an audience, because you've got I seen the photographs, there's probably 60 people there.
No, I don't mind. It's not even about that. It's just about me doing something that I feel good about. So, as I said, on that particular time when I was doing them prayers, I couldn't care if it was 1,000 people in front of me.
Yeah.
Because that's how would you say it? That's between me and God. That's our connection, our friendship. So nothing was going to stop me from doing that. No matter what anybody said, it wasn't going to stop me. Although, first when I decided, I was getting these feelings about telling you to do it or don't do it, do it or don't do it. But I knew in my heart what I was going to do. I knew in my heart I was going to do it. And thanks be to God, up to this day, that I done it. And I done it, as I said, I done it again then the following Good Friday, basically, which was twice. Your man that came out and done all, that's probably the photos you're talking about now. Yeah. The man that came out and done all the photos, he rang me about a week after, and he asked me, he said, would you be interested, he said, in doing an interview, he said, through the phone, he said, there's such and such of a radio station, but they're also connected with the newspapers, basically, whichever way, I don't know. So I asked him who were they, and he told me who they were, and look, he said, I'm giving him my word, he said, what you tell them, he said, is what they'll print, he said. He said, there'll be nothing different. So, okay, I said, go on, tell him to give me a ring whenever, like, you know. So your man then, rings me next day. About half an hour, say 25 minutes anyway, about 25 minutes to a half an hour, I'd say, interviewed on the phone. But it was actually interesting. He was only asking me the normal and basic questions, like, you know what I mean? Literally about the travellers and about the religion and about why we done all these prayers. And
but what I came across in the article that I read was how we is coping with COVID, and you were kind of saying, well, we're coping by sticking together and using our faith.
Yeah, that's right. But that is, for me, that's with or without COVID. My faith is what keeps me going anyway, in every situation.
It was lovely to see all of the younger lads around you.
Yeah.
Just sitting down there, and you were standing up there, and your little nephew, what's his
grandson.
name? Grandson, what's his name?
Tommy.
Tommy was there, and he had the...
he was carrying the cross.
The cross. And everyone was just there looking at you. And it reminded me of photographs I've seen years ago of people just sitting out in fields, just listening to...
The storyteller, is it?
Whatever, the storyteller. the myths, the folklore.
What happens then at when we done them prayers on the park, on the hill, basically, we kiss the cross then, say, when all the prayers are finished, everybody kissed the cross then. Like, you have obviously the cloths, and so we've done our best. We done as much. We done what we could with the tools that God provided for us on that day.
But I think
it turned out beautiful.
I think you might have stumbled across something because of the circumstances that you were in. The priest wasn't available, and you went, I'm going to have to...
Sometimes somebody has to
step in here.
Let's say sometimes somebody has to steer the ship. Do you know what I'm saying? So if we all just sit back, lie down, whatever you want to do, and decide that you don't want to do it, when deep in your heart you know that you might be the one that has to do it, or needs to do it, or should be doing it. But in that situation, I was very happy to do it.
But I think without throwing lollipops at you.
Yeah, that's right. I don't eat lollipops.
Or awards at you, because I know, like, yourself and your mammy got an award a couple of weeks ago, and you were like, the award, it was great, but it doesn't really mean that much.
Well, my mummy got that.
Without throwing awards at you.
She got that.
Your old one. Without throwing awards or bouquets or lollipops at you, I think you, using this podcast or using the mass that you've done up, or using the stations of the cross, you're steering the ship in your community. I think it's a lovely thing to see.
Number one, whatever I do, and I've always been the same, no matter what I do in my life, I'm not interested in people throwing lollipops or throwing awards or throwing this, that, or the other at me. Because that's not what motivates me if I'm doing something. I like to just think that I'm plainly and simply doing it as a humble person for all the right reasons. It's not for recognition
or medals.
Not for medals. Not for awards. It's not for that pat on the back.
I find medals.
Or not for that well done, fair play. I'm not interested in that.
I find medals and awards fascinating. That part of our whole culture is set up for medals and awards.
Probably a way of people showing people that they appreciate them for some reason or another. It's a way of showing you that we recognise maybe something good that you do in life. That's probably the other side to it. I could never understand it. Like, genuinely, not disrespecting people that do it or people who feel happy and proud about it. They're entitled at the moment if that's what they want in life.
But it's not just like that people are entitled to or...
No, I am saying that they're, like, for instance, someone does something good and you shake hands with them and you say, look, fair play to you, that was very good. And if that makes them feel good and feel better about what they do, then let them have that moment. Don't take that away from them.
Yeah,
so we can't.
We've a whole different level of it. We have awards, medals, first place, second place, heavyweight champion of this, a belt for that.
Yeah, but maybe in a lot of these things, like I've often watched, I haven't watched them in a long time, but I've these big award things, you see them, the television awards, whatever, there's all different types of them anyway. Some of these people, some of them don't even turn up for them. But some of them that do turn up for them, it's just to say that they were there through respect to accept it. But doesn't really mean anything.
Martin, some people's whole lives is about getting the medal.
Awards.
Is about getting the belt.
So what do they do then? Just bring them home, put them on the shelf. Is that it? What is it worth?
I don't know what it's worth. It's something that fascinates me. I'm not into it
whatsoever. That's what I'm
I'm
trying to point out. I'm absolutely looking at these things. I do see. Let's say I see worthlessness in it. That's what I see. I don't see any worth at all in it.
You know that whole thing, we are the champions. I've just find that a laugh, like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're the best football
team. Is it this way of saying,
I'm the best boxer, or
yeah.
I won a gold medal or a bleeding a big glass thing for this, that, and the other. I find it all just really laughable. Does
it just boil down to this is an appreciation to you to let you know that we acknowledge the work you do or whatever?
No, because it gets competitive and all.
It's hard to explain. I could never understand this awards thing. Absolutely never. Couldn't understand it. I still don't understand it. I've often tried to figure out what's it about.
I think on a human level, somewhere in us, we have an insecurity that needs to be massaged or rubbed. You know what I mean? Oh, good, well done. You are the best. You know, good little boy. Here's a lollipop for you. I just find it bizarre, and it seems like the whole world is set up for medals and championships and awards, and you're the best, and ladies and gentlemen, the best actor is all that type of stuff.
But I think part of it might be just to keep recognition there in the eyes of the public. Does it describe a person's status in life?
It can do, yeah.
Like
the heavyweight champion of the world.
I know Dean Scurry.
I just watched Katie Taylor fight there, and she has like 6 belts wrapped around her, and she has a big smile across her face.
Yeah.
And I just think, what if we just take all the belts away? Is it the same?
The fact that she's fighting for the belt, is that not different? No.
No, I don't think it is. No, it's different.
I think that is different. I think it symbolises what she has done in her career, but I don't see no symbolisation in these awards.
It's exactly the same thing.
I don't think so.
Here's an Oscar.
But
you were in a film.
No, the thing about it is, not everybody gets an Oscar, and I know that you're going to say not everybody gets a belt. Yeah. But the winner gets the belt.
When the winner gets the Oscar. The winner this year is
how it's done.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah, but there might be 20 films. There can be 10.
Well, the winner of the best actor is
but there can be 10. There can be 10 nominations. They can be still at a same level. Are they not sort of voted by public there as well? No,
some of them aren't.
I think public votes has a lot to do with it. So therefore,
the majority of awards that are given out to anybody at any one time, anywhere in the world, is not by public vote.
It's not.
The majority of them is not. It's all kind of. Well, you've got like the industry. For example, if you're in the film industry, the industry would vote on it, and awards and stuff like what, let's say, Katie Taylor achieved. There is a bit of a difference, but I don't see much of a difference in it. Like, she went to fight another opponent for the position of number 1. It's quite competitive. And I just find that I'm the number 1 at this. I find that very interesting. I understand why people do it. It's just not within me to have that kind of drive to be number 1. I'm not interested in being number 1 at anything.
To be the best at something.
I'm not interested in being the best at anything.
Yeah, but some people have that, as you say, have that drive in them. Some people have this thing inside them that maybe that motivates them in a sense where they think they have to be the best at something.
And I find that really interesting.
But is that catching though?
What do you mean? Is it catching?
What I mean is it catching. For instance, if a person starts off, like you said, Katie Taylor, when she started off her boxing, did she ever even realise that she's going to go this far in it? So I think it is catching. Is it a case where you go so far and you can't stop now, you have to keep going until someone beats her and then she says, "Dug it, I'm retiring here." Is that what it is in some people?
Oh, it gets kind of, you get caught up in it a little bit.
Yeah, they're getting caught up, but also there's so much out surrounding them that it probably keeps motivating them to say, for not to say no, for to keep going. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, that they don't want to.
In other words, let's say, for instance,
the train is moving, let's keep it moving.
Let's say, for instance, just talk about boxing for a second, and the guy goes in there and he wins a couple of titles, and he starts getting the paycheck, he gets the recognition, and then they set up another fight for him straight away. He's not going to say no to that because he wants that other check, he wants that more recognition. But when people lose interest in him, I think it's when he's able to make up his own mind then. He can't make up his own mind because there's other people there controlling him. They're controlling him with money. They're controlling him with fame. But
I remember watching the Elvis documentary, actually, right? The Elvis film, the new Elvis film out.
Yes.
And he kind of got caught up in that. That's what the film was explaining. He kind of got caught up in the whole...
The industry took over his life, basically.
Yeah, but you are Elvis, and you are amazing, and here's all the awards, and... here's all the opportunities, and
I think that happens to a lot of singers.
And he kind of got lost in it.
Yeah, that's right.
And was in that groove.
So he didn't have his own life then.
Didn't have his own life whatsoever.
Somebody else owned him.
He didn't even know how to go back to his own life.
Yes,
when it was offered to him on a plate, and your man said, "Well, let's just rip up all the contracts. You pay me what you want, and you just go back to being, whatever your real name is.
Yes.
What's your real name? Now that you're not Elvis." And he was like, No. Get me back to being Elvis.
Couldn't go back.
Get me back to being the heavyweight champion of the world. Get me back to being the medal winner and the award winner. Because when I'm not Brad Pitt winning awards, I don't know who the fuck I am.
That's right.
And that's what I'm saying. I've no interest in that because probably because I don't need to know that everyone knows who I am.
Yeah,
I'm all right just being me.
Yeah, but I think they can get caught up in it so bad that they don't actually own their own lifestyle. Somebody else actually owns them.
Yeah, and the only thing that it seems from the outside that they have to show what their life is all these meaningless medals and awards.
That's right. Money, fancy cars, big houses, all that sort of stuff. But in the end, it means absolutely nothing to them.
But it's mad the way the whole world is set up.
Don't have a life then.
It's mad the way the whole world is set up that feeds us the myth that this is what we all strive for.
Yeah.
We all strive for the individual to become the best rather than us all striving for us all to be at ease with each other and connected to each other. You know what I mean?
It's just a crazy world, isn't it?
That we can let's pick one person out of these 1,000 and give them an award and make everyone hold them up on a little pillar. And then the next person who tries to get up on the pillar, we'll call them the champion. And then we'll have a fella from that house over there and this fella over here, and we'll put the two of them in a ring together and let them thump lumps out each other to see who the next champion is. All the while, we're not focusing on actually what's really important to us.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Which is just the people in our lives. So... the medal stuff is mad. And so that came from...
Something that's never going to stop.
I know that you stood there in front of those people in your community, not for medals, not for recognition, not for newspaper men to be coming out and chatting to you about this amazing thing that you were doing. What you weren't doing wasn't amazing. What you were doing was what needed to be done.
Normal. It was normal to me.
Just normal.
Yeah.
It was needed. It was necessary.
Yeah.
The priest couldn't make it. The ship needed to be steered because you saying if we don't steer the ship, it's going to crash into the blazing rocks.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's interesting when you have to take charge of something like, isn't it?
It's great.
I think it's I don't know. How would you call it? Empowering, is it?
Very empowering, yeah.
It's very motivating as well, because when you have this done, it's like where you go to. Have you heard of Lough Derg? Yeah,
Lough Derg, yeah.
Well, Lough Derg is as you know, if you heard of it, you probably know about it. And it's a pilgrimage site.
I think I was on an island on Lough Derg.
Yeah, on an island in Donegal.
Yeah.
And you spend 3 days there. Now you're fasting for 3 days, and you're allowed to eat once in a day. You're allowed to eat, let's say, toast, basically. They call it black toast because you're not allowed no butter or say marmalade or nothing like that on the toast, yeah? So basically, you go there for 3 days, you get off the bus, you step onto a little boat, and the boat brings you across to the island. So basically then what happens is, before you step onto the island, you have to take off your shoes. So you're 3 days on barefoot on the island, whether it's hail, rain or snow.
You've done this?
I've done this, yeah. Thousands of people do it. And if the sun is boiling, which has been, I know fellas that went to it, and they came home with the feet roasting off them because they can't wear their shoes. Now, this is something you choose to do, you know what I'm saying? But tradition is that you can't wear shoes. So you walk around the island for 3 days praying, basically. And there's little things on the island, they call them beds. And what the beds are...
That's blatant deadly.
Yeah. It's like a ring of stones.
Yeah.
And then another ring of stones. And you do a prayer as you're walking around that. You walk around that 3 times. Then you kneel, there's a little cross there in the middle. And you kneel there. And you do more prayers. And then you do the same thing with another bed and another bed. So it goes on and on and on, yeah? Then there's Mass. Then you get no sleep for the 3 days you're there.
I was going to say, where do you sleep? You don't sleep?
No, there is. I'll tell you in a second about that, right? Yeah. There's called a dormitory, right? Where there's all beds. There's like hundreds of beds, literally, right? And what it is, you while you're fasting, you're praying, and then there's this big hall. You go in there, and you're praying through the whole night. And you're allowed out every, I think it's every hour. I'm not 100% sure on the timings, but you're allowed out anyway to the fresh air for a couple of minutes, but you're still praying. And then you go back in. Now, you can't fall asleep because the rules are, if you're in there, you're, and say somebody is sitting beside you, basically, and whether they're sitting there or standing up, whatever, if you see them nodding off, the head dropping to fall asleep, then you have to nudge them, like give them an elbow to wake them up.
Yep.
Oh man, it's like it has happened to me. And when you get that nudge to wake up, it's like getting hit with a sledgehammer
because
the brain just jumps.
You're so focused on staying awake and meditating,
yes,
but your body's tired.
Your body's
and you just fall into this little
you doze off.
Yeah.
But it happens to everybody. But the rule is to the next person to you,
they'll help you out.
They touch you. But the problem is, if the next person falls asleep, who's going to wake them to you? So anyway, what happens then? When that happens to you, you're told before you go in there to walk outside and get a little bit of fresh air, and come back in again, and you're sort of...
Well, I can imagine you're probably in a little bit of a trance or something.
Sleep. You're really
like a sleepy trance.
Sleep, and you're doing your living best. And I mean, you are overpowered.
So on the outside, that sounds like torture, but I would imagine...
No, it's your own choice.
But it does, but self-imposed torture.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, anyway, your body is craving for sleep.
Yeah.
Absolutely craving. So what happens is then, the next day, you're into the next day now, still no sleep, no food. You can drink water, all right. And the next day then, you get one meal in that day, which is black tea. We call it black toast.
What's the story with all the blackness?
This is what I'm telling you.
The black fast and the black toast.
The black tea is no sugar and no... the idea of it is it's to deny your body of taste. If you put sugar in, it means you have taste, haven't you? If you put butter on the toast, it means you have taste. So you're denying yourself completely of anything with taste. Now you take, say for instance, the toast. There's absolutely no taste of it because it's just plain simple toast.
Well, I'd say by the second day it tastes like a steak.
No, the thing about it is you will eat some of it.
Yeah.
But when you have it eaten, basically, you're sort of feeling like your stomach just doesn't feel right at all because, again, there's no taste in the food. The black tea, you'll barely sip it.
Yeah.
For anyone that likes black tea, it's a pleasure for them. But for anyone who doesn't, then they have this. It's a biscuit, right? And it's let's say it's a handmade biscuit, if you like. There's absolutely no taste whatsoever in it. There's nothing at all, completely.
I don't know if you're enjoying this or...
I'd probably say it's like eating a briquette, but then somebody might ask you, how do you know, did you ever eat a briquette?
But you must get to a point where you just accept it.
You have to, because you need to put something into your body, don't you?
Yeah.
You have to put something in there to how to say it? Well, let's say your body and your brain are so used to food. When your organs are not receiving the right nourishment, as we call it, so your brain is not receiving the right signals, is it? Given or receiving, whatever.
Yeah, and you're sleep deprived.
Yes, and you're sleep deprived.
And someone's standing beside you, nudging you, waking you up.
But what happens then is, you the following night, it runs into 3 days, right?
Is this a cult?
No, it's not a cult. It's a religion.
I know, I'm only messing, but it sounds a bit like a cult. No, it sounds like, Martin, come here.
No,
I'm going to bring you down to this place on an island where you don't eat for 3 days and you can't sleep.
Yes, it's old tradition, basically.
Yeah.
But it completely cleanses your body and soul.
Do you think the tradition goes before...
Now, you get confessions in there.
1 second. Do you think this old tradition goes before Catholic?
Before Catholic?
Yeah.
No, I think it's something to do with Catholic. It's like combined, basically.
Because part of the celebrations, just to bring back the point of Halloween, part of that stuff came before Catholic.
Right, forget about Halloween for a minute.
Just let me say first, is part of stuff we used to do in this country, not just at Halloween, but around the year when we were pagan. You know what I mean? This is before all of that. So that's why I'm asking, how far does it go back?
This is what I'm trying to point out to you, right? It's combined. The best way to say it.
Very good, yeah.
Right.
I love the way you tell me. Forget about that. I'm not talking about that. Move on.
I'm interested in what I'm actually talking about.
You're interested in what you want to say.
I'm interested in myself, actually. For once in my life.
Welcome to Martin's world.
Yeah. So anyway, what happens is, it's a 3-day thing. You're there for 2 nights, basically, but 3 days, if it makes any sense. So then, on the, say, class as the 3rd night, the 2 nights, first, second. Yeah, it's classed on the 2nd night. Now, bear in mind, you get up out of bed at 6 o'clock in the morning, leaving home. You're getting your bus down all the way to Donegal. You get, now you're fasting. From the night before you leave your home, you're actually fasting. So you're heading straight on that journey anyway. As I said, no food, no cup of tea in the morning.
The hard work the fasting has begun.
It has begun before you leave home, because it starts at 12 o'clock the night before you leave home. Now, so you're making that journey anyway, and then you're in Donegal, as I said earlier on. They put you on a little boat. You take off your shoes while you're on that boat, and you step onto the island with no shoes. You go to tell you where your let's say your dormitory, your room is based. It's not actually your room. It's a big, massive place with loads of beds in it, basically. The best way of saying it. And tell you where it is, and you put your bag there, whatever bits and pieces you have in the bag anyway. And then you, the 2nd night, after doing all that, the prayers through the night and the fasting and all that stuff, the 2nd night then, they allow you to get a sleep. But the thing about it is, it's the best sleep that you ever had in your entire natural life.
That's why I'm talking about those biscuits. They must be the best biscuits, even though there's no flavour on them. If you haven't had a biscuit in 2 days...
It's not about the biscuit.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
It's the fact that your body is completely drained with tiredness.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The minute you hit the bed, you're gone. You're out of this world.
I'd say you have some dreams.
The next morning, I don't think you're...
You had the energy for a dream?
No, I don't think your brain actually... what you call it? How would I say this to you? I don't think your brain even... allows room for a dream. Put it that way. It's so tired.
Yeah, it's just lights out.
You're gone, and you have the best sleep that you have ever had in your entire natural life. And the next morning you wake up, you're just completely. You're like a recharged Duracell battery. That's how good it is.
It's mad that just like one extra couple of hours, not sleeping, gives you that.
That's right.
Feeling.
So then you say the next morning, then you're up and say you get mass and you do some more prayers, and I think then it's around, I think it's at 1 o'clock you leave the island, but you're still fasting. So you're fasting till you go home until 12 o'clock that night. Yeah?
That's deadly. I never heard of that.
I remember, this is actually, it's foolish, but it's funny. I remember one time, I actually done that twice in 1 week.
You're a glutton for punishment, are you?
I am, yeah.
You must have been riddled with guilt or something.
I tell you, no, I done it because I tell you why I done it in 1 week. When I done it first, while I was there, I promised to come back down the following week. Now the following week, I know I said I done it in 1 week, but the following week was the following term, as you call it.
Yeah.
So basically, what I'm saying is, I went down of Monday. Sorry, I went down of Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah, that's right. Went down of a Saturday morning and came home, say, Monday evening, basically, if you like. So now you're still fasting, as I said, till 12 o'clock that night. So your own week begins again on Tuesday. That's the best way of putting it, right? So the following Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the following Saturday,
you went down for another round.
I jumped out of bed again, and it was teeming rain the same morning. And I had to walk all the way because I didn't bring no car because, I tell you why, there was nowhere to park a car and then jump onto a bus. So I walked all the way into, to say, Finglas, basically, if you like, and got a bus from there into town. And then got the bus from, I think it's Bus Ars or something that time, or Greyhound, whatever. From there then on to Donegal. So from the minute you get out of your bed, the whole process starts. And I've done that, let's say, all over again.
You know the prayers that you're saying?
The thing about it is, yeah, go on.
Go on, the thing about it is?
The thing about it is, when you come off that island, oh man, it's hard to explain the feeling. It's just absolutely beautiful. First of all, you put your shoes on for starters. And I'd say if you had the worst and roughest pair of shoes in the country,
they'd feel like
you were putting 2 Rolls-Royce cars on your feet. But anyway,
every little thing,
beautiful.
It's just beautiful.
Oh yeah, when you put the shoes on, the feet are just lovely. I'm telling you, no matter what sort of shoes you're wearing.
So you're barefoot, you're fasting.
Yeah.
You're not drinking other than black tea and water.
Yes.
It's
actually a punishment to actually try to drink the tea, for starters.
Yeah.
It's a punishment to try to eat the toast with nothing on it. And the biscuit with no taste at all, absolutely. It's like you just
so
chewing
probably
something.
teaches you that you don't need much other than...
in a sense, but I think it's all about the cleansing. I think it's about the cleansing of the body and the soul.
When I went and done that medicine I done a couple of weeks ago, I had done a few ceremonies.
I'll tell you something funny anyway.
I'd done a few ceremonies before it, and by the middle of the week, all my body wanted was water. That's all my body wanted.
Yeah.
Because I was on this kind of spiritual cleanse.
Yes.
And literally my body didn't want anything. It didn't want sugar. It didn't want salt. It didn't want anything other than water. And it was like a voice inside me just going, all you need is water. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And everything else was, I wasn't crying out for it, but if I got it, I appreciated it much more.
But anyway, what happens when you come off Lough Derg, yeah?
Yeah.
You feel like a brand new person. I mean, like you feel like genuinely a brand new person, body and soul. It's just a beautiful, beautiful feeling that you can't describe. Because, like, you've done this thing for 3 days, I'm saying, and you just feel, how to say, in a sense, it's like you've achieved something. You feel so good about it, do you know what I mean?
And what's the prayers that you're saying?
You're doing all different types, loads.
And are you doing the same ones as the person beside you?
Yeah, because you're going around the same beds. Then you're in the church, you're doing the same prayers.
Yeah, very good.
Then mass is the same for everybody.
And is everyone doing them out loud?
Well, when I say loud, it's actually you can say them in silence if you want.
Yeah.
But it's actually better to say them that just a little bit loud, not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying go out up and down shouting all over the island, like. What I am saying is, if you can say them enough for to actually hear yourself praying, it's good because it's registered more back into your brain.
But I'm sure at some point it just all kind of becomes some kind of meditation where it's maybe even the words doesn't matter. It's just
there's parts of it, there's certain parts of it where you have to stay silent anyway.
Yeah.
But although you're still praying, but you have to pray in silence. So different people have different ways of praying. In a line of some people like to just pray normally, not loud, shouting loud, or just normally loud. And then some people like to just pray in silence. Me, sometimes I like to hear myself pray.
Yeah.
It gives me more focus. I can find that solidness in my prayer, basically. Whereas if I'm praying in silent, I am more inclined to get distracted by the silliest of things. Do you know what I mean now?
Yeah.
So I find more, I don't know if everybody else is the same way, I find more power in my prayer. Like, there's a saying there where if you sing a prayer to God, which, like, say gospel hymns and stuff, it is a prayer and song. It's, when you sing it, it amounts to praying twice, that's to say. Strange, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a nice connection. Like I listen to you singing here, and you get really into it, and it's kind of like there's a connection between you and something. You know what I mean? And it's probably closer to what you're saying there. It's probably a connection with you and God, or you and your faith. Like, you won't shut up singing once you start. You probably don't even notice it now because you sing that much. Yeah. You just sing and sing and sing.
I'll tell you what, like, I can't sing anyway. I can't sing if I was getting paid to sing. I understand that. I'm well aware of that. But what I do like, I like gospel songs. I like gospel hymns. And like, if I'm in a church now, say there's singing or there's hymns going on, I love to get involved with that.
You should join a choir.
No, it's not even about joining the choir, because I say if there's a choir in a church and they're singing, I'll sing along with them anyway. But it's just that lovely feeling of raising the roof in the church, because you're like, when you're singing hymns like that, you're actually praising God. You're sending your praises to God, which gives you that lovely good feeling inside. But
also, when you're singing with people in a choir, it doesn't have to be religious stuff. It's just there's a connection, there's a vibe, there's an energy.
The chances are it will be religious stuff.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, my mate Damo Dempsey plays Vicar Street, and it's like going to church.
Yeah.
Because you've got 1,000 people all singing these really meaningful songs to them, and it's literally like being at a bleeding church. There's a spiritual connection happens there.
Yeah, there's an energy there, basically. It really is. It's how would you call it? The fact that everyone comes together. It's the same thing. It's the same thing again with prayer. If I'm praying, I would offer my prayers up a lot to. I'd offer them up a lot in union with all the prayers said throughout this world today. So for me, that gives me strength. And like, there's thousands of people that would feel the same thing if they're praying, and they're offering their prayers up in union with all the prayers around the world. So it's like, how would I say it? It's like, it is, in a sense, it's bringing prayer together, although you're probably thousands of miles apart. But the one person that knows that is God above. So he knows.
But there's something happens, regardless of it's prayer or...
No, that's what I was saying. I was talking about song and prayer.
Something happens when humans sing or do something collectively.
When they get together.
Like, I'm thinking even of the football stadiums, and you get 20,000 people all singing songs.
Yeah, but
something
again,
magical happens.
The magic of it is, well, it can be a million things magical, but one of the things is the fact that they're creating an energy.
Yeah.
All together. It's like a force. Well, let's put it this way. If you were trying to lift something there that was too heavy to lift, and, right, you couldn't lift it, and a couple of lads comes along and lifts it, all together, gets their hands around it, and they can lift it. It could be anything. It could be in a gym, or it could be the back of a car. It could be the silliest thing. The fact that it's heavy and so many get together doesn't make that a lighter lift. So they're creating a strength there, aren't they? Well, it's the same thing as you said with a stadium, where the crowds all shout. they're creating an energy.
Yeah, and it lifts up.
But it's a beautiful feeling.
It's stunning.
Yeah, it's
I remember being in Anfield, and it was Manchester United versus Liverpool, and I'd always heard of the Kop, which is like the Liverpool end, but it was literally like an elevated chorus of angels singing. Although it was all these working class Liverpool men, it was just this.
Was it something that was making them proud of what they were doing, kind of?
Yeah, there was pride in it, and part of me with the medals and all, I understand the pride, but I don't understand that one team is held up as this ultimate champion. You know what I mean? I do understand the collective pride, but for me, we're all human. There's no teams in my head. Black, white, gay, straight, traveller, settled man. There's no difference between us all, but yet we play these games where we have differences because we have these medals and awards.
I know I'm going to a different field here, as a fellow would say. Do you think football is exaggerated?
Yes, I think that it's like what we said about Halloween. It's changed from what it used to be. It's a business now. Halloween is a business.
Yeah.
Football is a business. When I was a kid, I used to watch it, and I explained this before on the podcast, and then I realised these lads are earning more in a week than who's my superhero, is earning in 10 years.
That's right, yes.
And I've seen the business of it. I love the collective thing of football. I don't care who wins or loses. I've never cared who wins or loses.
I'm not a football fan myself, but what I will say is, if I hear of Ireland playing, I'd like to watch Ireland playing. Like, I remember years, it's going back a long way now anyway, and I remember the time of the World Cup, when Ireland is evolved, I just want to watch them. That's it.
And I went to a few of them myself. And
not in the stadiums now. I would say at home on TV probably.
Yeah, I remember though they had like outdoor screens and all that, and I went to a couple of them, like, you know.
No, I love watching Ireland playing, and I remember back in 1990, yeah, that's like 32 years ago now, and Ireland, they went to the World Cup, and if I'm not mistaken, they went in '94 again. I think they did, but anyway. That was some. Ireland went into Ireland went into a frenzy, literally.
I think it's going to happen again when this Irish women's team takes over Australia and New Zealand for the World Cup.
I'm not a football fan, but I genuinely remember because everybody was watching the World Cup.
I think everyone gets caught up in that energy,
and you get caught on it because everybody's doing it, and you see then there's something special about it.
Well, I think one of the things that's special about the Irish stuff and the Irish is that
I think what's special is the fact that it's Irish.
Yeah, but the Irish lads are just like, we're just happy to be here. We probably know we're not going to win the thing. No, we're just happy to be out.
Yeah, but I think it became more than that in the end because they knew they had, when they went so far, they knew they had the ability to do anything they wanted to do, literally.
Yeah.
Now, although there was competition there, but they got this illusion then that they could, let's say, not even an illusion, they got the understanding and the reality of being in that position, basically. It was like telling them that, look, you got so far here, you can win this. And they went for it. But it was brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I haven't watched a football match since.
I'm not really interested in it.
I'm not genuinely. I have no interest in football.
I know people who it's their whole life.
I love watching them.
Yeah. I know people who it's their whole life. Yeah, I just wanted to mention there that I know a girl from Ballymun who went on a silent retreat for 10 days, and she said it was the most transformative thing that happened in her life. Like, literally, she went to this place like Lough Derg or whatever. And
silence.
And it was just silence for 10 days. Silence and a bit of fasting for 10 days. But when she left it, she had that feeling that you were explaining.
She felt good about you.
She just, everything was different.
That's right.
You know, and it was silence. And I think wherever you can find that, whether it's in Lough Derg, whether it's in, in the football stadium, wherever you can find that thing where it connects you back to yourself or back to your community, and you can get that feeling of, wow, what a privilege just to be alive. Sometimes you have to make the decision to go there. Like that girl made the decision. You know what? I'm whatever age I am, at this point, I'm going to, like what you were saying a few minutes ago, I'm going to take control here. I'm going to steer this ship. This is probably going to crash into the rocks if I don't take control of it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go onto that island and I'm going to say these prayers, or I'm going to stand in front of my community and I'm going to do the thing that I know that I should do.
I know thousands and thousands of travellers who have done the same thing. And to be honest with you, I had to do it every year. And I have to give them 10 out of 10 for it, because, believe me, it's not an easy task.
But the reward is that connection. The reward is that connection.
Yeah.
And the reason you're doing it, I think, is because you might have felt just disconnected from that spirit, from that energy, from that voice inside.
Like you said, there's a lot of people that do different things and they find it interesting in different ways.
Wherever you find it.
Yeah.
There's many ways to the top of the mountain. And sometimes I can't get my head around certain ones, like winning medals and all that. And I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying if that's how you get what you need to get, well then go for it.
Yeah, well, look, it's whatever motivates.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. Sometimes what you're saying there about medals and stuff like that, there, maybe that does motivate people.
Yeah.
Maybe because maybe in a sense, whatever way they're thinking, maybe it helps them to carry on further in whatever they're doing. Like, so if that's what keeps them happy, why not? Let them go ahead and do it.
It's not for me.
It's just everybody has a different.
Everyone's different. That's what the great thing about being alive and being human is.
We all have different views.
We're all very similar, but we all have just differences. Yeah, different views, right. Different ways of looking at it, different experiences, different perspectives, and different things that we're either looking for or chasing or running away from.
Yeah.
And just have a look at whatever the stuff is. Have a look at what your motivation is. I think that's an interesting point in your life when you look at what's your motivation for doing certain things.
That's right.
Is it to please yourself? Is it to please others? Is it for the gold watch? Or is it just because it needs to be done?
Tell me something, Dean. Tell me a little bit about Damien Dempsey, will you?
I will. I invited him on as a guest on the show, so hopefully he will take us up on that.
Did you? When did you invite him?
A couple of weeks ago. So he's...
Any response, no?
Yeah, he's quite busy. He's working on new music. He recently done the Talking Bollocks podcast, so let's give it a couple of weeks and we'll get him on. We'll have a bit of fun.
He was acting in that film, Between the Canals. You seen
Between the Canals, yeah. It wasn't much of an acting role, but he was good. He was a bouncer down the Knockers in Sheriff Street.
It's interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah. So November 18th, 10 o'clock in the morning, a Traveller and a Countryman podcast, live access theatre. The tickets are free. They're available on the Instagram for Traveller and a Countryman, on the Facebook pages of Ballymun Health and Fitness Festival and my Facebook page. There's about 50, 60 tickets. I would imagine they're going to be gone in the next week or so. So get your hands on them and let's have our first live podcast and our guest, Senator Lynn Ruane.
Yes, Senator Lynn Ruane.
Very good.
Okay. And if we're not there, start without us. Thank you very much.
Make the tea. Ladies and gentlemen, episode 22, Traveller and a Countryman podcast. Catch you soon.
Peace out.
So that's us for this episode, Traveller and a Countryman podcast. If you like it, let us know, share it around, and we'll see you on the road.